Hello, algebra students. Mr. Nichols here. We're going to talk about today solving radical equations. And we are starting a new book. We're on book 1105. And we're working on pages 1 through 3. If you have a pencil and paper, that is great. If not, I would like for you to stop the video. Get those so you can take some notes. Okay, welcome back. First, solving radical equations. What is a radical equation? Well, we know it's an equation because it has an equal sign. And we know it's a radical because it has a square root sign. So this tells us this is a radical equation. That's all it is. Don't be scared. We can handle this square root sign easily enough. So on your notes, I want to give you some steps. The first step is you want to isolate the radical. In this equation we have right here, it's already isolated. It's all by itself. There's nothing with it on either side. The second step, write this down, is that you want to square the radical. By squaring the radical, you cancel out the square root sign. It's like a fraction. With you have 3 over 3, that's 1. It cancels out. All right? And the last step is to do the math. So for this action right here, we're going to find out what x is. And that's easy enough because all we're going to do is, according to our second step, is square the radical. And what you do on one side, you have to do on the other side. So we're going to square the radical on the other side. So this cancels out. Okay, you'll hear me say that a lot. So that means we have 4x equal 4x. 4x equals 4. And it's a simple problem. You just do the math. Square root of, or sorry, divide by 4, x equals 1. Now what we want to do is we want to put the number back in there because we want to check our work. So square root of 4 times 1 should equal 2. All right, well, square root of 4 times 1 is 4, equals 2. Okay, we should know that. Square root of 4, perfect square, 2 equals 2. And it makes sense. Okay, so let's look at another one. All right, we're going to add a little bit more to it. All right, so we have our second one here. We have our radical, but the 3 is multiplying by the radical, or 3 times the radical is 18. So we have to get rid of this 3. This is a number. We don't know what number it is because there's an x there. It's a radical. So 3 times a number equals 18. Well, we can get rid of this 3. Simple enough. Just do the math. Divide this by 3. Divide that by 3. So now we have the square root of 2. X equals 6. Here we go. We got it, the radical by itself. There's nothing with it. We got rid of that 3 by turning it into a 1. And we have 6. So what's the second step? Square the radical. Square the radical. What you do on one side, you have to do on the other. So now we have 2x equals 36. And here we go. We're going to divide by 2, x equals 18. If we wanted to, we could put that 18 back into it. 2 times 18 is 36. Square root of 36 is 6. 3 times 6 is 18. So it checks out. Our last example is don't worry about it. It's not don't blow your mind here. I'm going to move it over a little bit on our page. Good. So we have 3 times a radical. Don't worry about this underneath here. And equals 12. So isolate the radical. How can we isolate the radical? 3 times a number that we don't know equals 12. We can divide by 3. As simple as that. These two have the same, something similar with it. So we have 1, so now we have the square root of 2x minus 6 equals 4. So now we have the radical. What's the second step? Square the radical. We're going to square the radical, all right? What we do on one side, we do on the other side. These guys cancel out, so we have 2x minus 6 equals 16. We're going to add 6 to both sides because we're just going to do a two-step equation here. So now we have 2x equals 22. And now we're going to divide by 2, x equals 11. So if we put 11 back into here, then it will definitely, 12 will equal 12. All right, so remember, email me if you have a problem or concern. I can help you with that. We can get together on a phone call to figure stuff out if we need to do it that way too. If you have any questions, email me.